First off, I want to give a shout out to Noah, who is he's a NDL 799 here on YouTube, Aggie fan. We had messaged before, met there at the game. He came over to my section right before kickoff. Cool guy. Talked about the game, talked about the season stuff. Glad he got this is his first time to be at DKR. He got to see his team win. He's one of the good Aggies out there. So congrats to Noah and all the Aggies there at the game. So good meeting you, man. I told you guys. I didn't think we were going to win. And the thing is, I don't want to say we played better than I thought we would, because the whole time I would look, I had the buddies around me, and we look at the score, we're down 10 or down 7. We're like, how are we in this ball game? Like, the Aggies should have beat us by 30 or 40. But we turned the ball over, 5, 6 times. I mean, it was horrible. But the guys fought. They did, and that's great and everything. But the people made the same mistakes they've been making all year. And you kind of look at Texas A&M. I didn't think the Aggies had much better games this season. Cyrus Gray, he was a beast. He was the man for Texas A&M. And the thing about what I got from Ryan Tannehill, at least tonight, Ryan Tannehill is not a world beater. He's not some guy who's gonna be a Heisman candidate, that kind of guy. What Ryan Tannehill brings Texas A&M though is stability. He's so patient. He doesn't force things. He knows where he wants to go with the ball, and if you take it away from him, he'll wait for something else. He's not gonna force something, and that's what makes Texas A&M. That's the difference between turnovers like Gerard Johnson did then you turn to Tannehill, who does not give the ball back. Unlike Texas, who we lost this game because of turnovers. Turnovers and allowing big plays. We're up 7-0. Got that great, catch by Marquise Goodwin and running for the touchdown. Everybody's pumped. We get the ball back, get the ball down to the 8-yard line, and, we're pumped. The Aggies just got a penalty, so move the ball closer, so we're at the 8-yard line. And the change in the game was Garrett Gilbert running into Cody Johnson, mess up, they fumble, Aggies get the ball back, and then right after that, 84-yard run by Cyrus Gray. And that's pretty much a ball game. It was tied 7-7, but after that, it was near the end of the first half. Second half starts, first drive on third down. Garrett probably throws his worst. He's had a lot of bad passes this year, but it's probably his worst pass of the season. Aggie makes a great play on it. They get a field goal. Defense hold them to a field goal. I thought the defense for Texas, for the most part, played okay, but we'll talk about that later. And then next one, DJ Monroe, who we all wanted to get in, fumbles on on the first carry, the first drive after that field goal. And then the Aggies turn that one into a touchdown as well. That's 10 points right there. If you want to say 17 points, if you want to go back, it's 17 points, counting right at the end of the first half off of turnovers. Texas, up until then, Texas wasn't controlling the game, but Texas was doing a good job of leading in the game and having a good foothold. But then you just let, I wouldn't say you don't give them, because they earned, especially that 85-yard run, because that's on the defense. Sorry, 17 points like that, you don't do that against a good team. And then the Aggies had a lot of, they had some good drives, but none of their drives, like their long drives, where your usual drive, never amounted into points. They scored off of big plays and short fields. That's what good teams do. That's when it's not working for you, drive after drive. That's how you got to score. That's what happens. And they responded. We drove down the field. The only reason we really got back into this game, what lost us this game were turnovers. But what kept us in the ball game was turnovers, because I think the Aggies muffed 2 punts, and they dropped the ball a couple of times as well. Kept drives for 3 and outs alive for us. So we go down. Garrett punches one in from the 1-yard line. We're all pumped. Yay, we're only down by 3. And then Aggies get the return like the 48-yard line. And then like 3 plays later, Cyrus Gray takes another long run into the end zone. I think it was Vaccaro both times who missed the tackle. That's on Muschamp. And Muschamp leaves his guys on islands, and so they got to read they got to read the offense, and they got to read run. And if they read run, they have a gap they're responsible for. It's hard to play, but if you're going to play that defense, you got to know how to do it. And Cyrus Gray is too good of a back to not cover your gaps. and he's the difference in the ball game. And he, even there at the end, he was able to bounce the ball out to get that first down to pretty much put us away. Then of course we let the time run out on the clock because our football IQ was about that big. Longhorns just aren't good. And I said it in my last video. I didn't think we were going to win, not because they didn't play with heart, because these guys did play with heart. This one, like the Oklahoma game, and it's a rival game, and so the guys come out a little bit harder, and I don't like that. I wish you need to bring that every game, but that's human nature. But they came out today wanting to win this ball game. They wanted to beat the Aggies. And that's great. And, we fed off that. The crowd, we were into it. But it just wasn't good enough. Didn't know how to win. And like I said, it's weird to say that about a Texas team in the past 10 years we've had. I'll do it later. I'll do a season overview, just of the whole season. But just talking about this one game, it was a difference between two teams. One team in the Aggies that knew who they were, knew what they wanted to do, and a team like the Longhorns who even after the game, I don't know what the identity of this team was. Guys that played well, James Kirkendall, his last game as a Longhorn. I thought he did a good job of getting open a lot, but really. And there's other guys who stepped up as well. Garrett was so off and on today. Part of that, he threw, like I say, he threw a bunch of ducks today. But there were times where he threw great balls, and it's just you see what the coaches see in the guy that can possibly later down the round be good for us if he's going to be the quarterback for the future. Our offensive line is horrible. This was one of the worst games I've seen them play. Not just not blocking, because that was part of it. I think you look at Tannehill. Tannehill, one of the reasons he was able to be patient was because he had a good pocket presence, because he had a good pocket. Garrett rarely had a pocket, and he was running for his life. But he made enough mistakes on his own as well. But the false starts, the offsides. There at the end, when we blocked a punt out there around the 10-yard line, and Britt Mitchell falls down on the line, offsides, or false start. Docks back 5 yards, changes the whole complexion of the drive. So instead of being able to get a touchdown, we have to kick a field goal out of that. It's just things like that that can affect the ball game, affect the outcome of games, and these are mistakes that Texas isn't good enough to overcome. You can't turn the ball over that many times with a team that's this bad. You just can't do it. So Texas A&M, as I said in my last video, you guys, this was definitely not y'all's best game of the season, but beating Texas, you didn't need it. I think you guys have won 9 ball games. I'm not sure. I think 8 or 9 ball games. You may go to the Cotton Bowl, which is a great ball game. And Longhorns were bowl eligible. You never thought this would happen, especially not after going to the national championship, but it has. There's going to be big-time coaching moves for all the people. But I'm going to say it straight up front, for all the people who keep saying that is this Max last year, he'll decide that, but I seriously doubt that, and no one's going to force Mac out. This year is inexcusable, no matter what new guys are in. I know Jordan's gone. I know Colt's gone. Quan's been gone for 2 years. Surge is gone. All these great players for Texas are gone. There's still no excuse. You've got an influx. We talk about this influx of great players coming in. You got to coach them up. It's a big-time coaching problem. I think the coaches got lax, because we had so much success over the past 10 years that you kind of, even the coaches will buy in. And you listen to Mac Brown at the end in this press conference after the game, he talked about how he was mad after Rice, that he saw pretty much, he's been coaching for over 2 decades or longer than that, and he said, he saw after the Rice game that we won. He said he saw a lot of problems. He saw a lot of perceived problems for the future of this season. And he was right. You wish he would have found a way to fix it, but hey, you can't do it now. You're 5-7. You're a bad football team, and people keep talking about how Texas may make a bowl game at 5-7, and and I've heard that. Me and Noah talked about it a little bit, but that this team wouldn't deserve a bowl game even if they won tonight. They definitely don't deserve to be 5-7 after you beat Nebraska, which is a great win, and then your only win after that is against Florida Atlantic. A scheduled win. That's not a bowl team. So it's a bad football team, a bad season. I hate it for the seniors, Sam Acho, Kirkendall, Eddie Jones, all those guys. They've been great for this program, but this season didn't work out. Got a lot of problems to fix, but hey, we're gonna do this. This is Oklahoma's year. Oklahoma State, Texas A&M, Baylor. It's their year. Texas, we're in the back. So Longhorns fans, I don't want to hear y'all nanning about the Aggies. I don't want to see a single Longhorn start going to if the Aggies lose their bowl game. I don't want a single Longhorn to go talking about the Aggies, about how they can't win ball games, and blah, blah, blah. The Longhorns suck this year, okay? And I am not going to be part of mocking another team that is clearly better than mine, just out of spite and jealousy, because that's pathetic. A fan base that does that is pathetic. If a team, and I said this last year when we went to the national championship, and I'm going to say it now that we're at the bottom of the barrel, so maybe I'll get some credibility from you guys. If a team, whether it's rival or not, does better than your team and is clearly better than yours, you have no right to start nana-booing and whatever, jacking with their fan base because if they go on to lose or not accomplish their ultimate goal. It's pathetic and petty and makes you a low person for it. So I've said that about that. I'm saying that about my fan base now. So I'm being a little bit, trying to be fair here, guys, to show y'all that I'm not wearing two shoes, or I'm not wearing two different opinions on this. If the Longhorns suck, Longhorns fans shut up. When the Aggies and the Raiders and all them sucked, I was like, don't talk about the Longhorns. Well, Longhorns fans, we suck. Don't talk about the Aggies. Don't talk about the Sooners. Don't talk about Baylor. So, congrats to all those teams, Longhorns fans. It's been a rough year, but this is the year you find out the real fans if you're really going to stick with the team. This is my last game here at DKR as a student. I've had a great time here. This season was terrible, but I got to experience 2008, 2009. I got to watch 3 seasons of Colt McCoy. That's not a bad time to be at college football. So I've got a good outlook on my time here at Texas, just from a college football standpoint. I've had a great time as a student too, but as a football fan, it's been great too. So hook 'em horns, Texas fight. Congrats, Aggies. Hope you guys do well in y'all's bowl game. Hope y'all represent the Big 12 well. Longhorns, we're in the basement, and I don't want to hear any of y'all talking about the Aggies. So hook 'em, guys.